Let's make light of everything of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's ending. There's a lot of confusion out there, and hopefully I can help clear some of that up and explain the ending. Now, this is your spoiler warning, and this is the only bit you're going to get, and I'm going to make some assumptions that you have finished the game. Now, before I go into anything, let's get some baseline facts known. So, at the end of Remake, we created multiple worlds when we destroyed Fate, and Sephiroth knows this. Additionally, Sephiroth now has control of the Fates. Rebirth also does introduce a new set of Whispers. The white Whispers are those controlled by the planet, and the purple Whispers or black Whispers with the purple eye, these are now controlled by Sephiroth. And lastly, and maybe the most important one, is Aerith. Aerith knows the future, or she did at some point, and this is supported by multiple sets of dialogue throughout the game. So for example, when we are at Under Junon and we are retiring for the night and we're walking by Aerith's room, there is a set of dialogue between Aerith and Red, and Aerith kind of talks about how part of herself is slipping away.
I could feel them slipping away one by one, and the tighter I held on, the more I lost.
I know. I felt the same. It was like they were sucking them straight out of my head.
And the worst part is that I don't even know what's missing. Only that something is. Like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't remember.
Damn Whispers!
This also is supported in Chapter 6 if you have the optional conversation with Aerith on the beach. She says, "You're gonna love the future me."
No need to worry about the future till it comes. Not until the moment arrives. And when it does, I'll be counting on you.
Good.
Not you. That was to her. My future self. Can't say when you'll meet, but trust me, you'll love her. Just you wait.
And if that isn't enough for you, if you happen to get Red's best ending, he flat out tells you, Aerith and I could see the future in Midgar before fates were severed, but ever since then, they've lost that ability to. Even Marlene knows that Aerith told the future. If we go back to Remake once more, Aerith and Marlene escape with the Turks, and during this moment they have a bond, and Marlene kinda gasps, and we now know why. It's because Aerith shared with her a scene from the future where Sephiroth kills her, and she shares this with Zack in hopes that Zack can prevent this from happening. So with that out of the way, let's break down the ending, and the only way I know how to do that is with paint and visually. So here is my handy dandy timeline that I have here. The beginning of Remake, this is the end of Remake, this is the end of Rebirth, and this is the end of the story where we remain victorious over Sephiroth. And all of the yellow materia on here I just have as representation of worlds, and then I also have this white materia as a representation of a world. So I want to say that I think these worlds, they're being used as storytelling vessels and is helping us follow along the story a little bit better and a little bit more coherently than the original. Along with Zack being alive, this is a way of storytelling. Much how the Whispers were in Remake, these worlds are now giving us ways to expand on the story. So let's go into the end of chapter 13, where Aerith and Cloud fall into the life stream and kind of rift onto a different world. And this is where Zack resides. And this is the same world where Zack was survived at the end of Remake, and we kind of just fade off into it once we save Aerith. And Aerith kind of knows that part of her has been in this world this entire time and is just knows her fate and knows her future. And this is the time that she set aside to help save Cloud. Save Cloud from himself and even hide wholly from the rest of the other timelines in preparation to stopping Sephiroth. So at the end of this journey, Cloud does get pushed back into what I'm going to call the main timeline. And then Zack is kind of still stuck here, and a version of Aerith is also still here before Sephiroth gets to us. While we're transitioning between these two worlds, Sephiroth joins Cloud as we're kind of falling in between dimensions and explains to us reunion theory. And reunion theory just does not apply to Genova cells anymore, they also apply to these worlds. He says that all of these worlds must also come together and join the timeline or be fated from existence or destroyed and meet their fate one way or another. And basically all he's saying is he has the power to end these worlds, and he will do so in order to bring all of the planets together, or all of these worlds together in the reunion. So not only do the worlds have to come together, Genova has to come together. And same kind of principles apply to the life stream. Even though the life stream is in our planet, it is also in all of these other planets which are connected. And that's how I think Aerith can kind of communicate to us throughout both planets, because she is connected to the life stream.
Behold the true nature of reality. When the boundaries of fate are breached, new worlds are born. The planet encompasses a multitude of worlds, ever unfolding. Some quickly perish, while others endure. Yet even the most resilient worlds are doomed to fade. Nevertheless, their loss is not to be mourned. For it is not death, but a homecoming that awaits them. In the planet's embrace, all life is as one. All born are bound to her. Should this world be unmade, so too shall her children.
He'd tell you that he only cares about the planet. That he'd do everything in his power to protect and preserve it. But this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
Listen to the planet, Cloud. To her ecstatic cries, her rapture.
Screaming! It's screaming!
Now, Cloud, I thought you might finally understand. Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together. 7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps, but what will you do with it? Let's see. Let go of the past, Cloud, for the future is bright. We are to bear witness to the reunion of worlds.
Reunion.
Now this plays an important part after we get pushed through our world and we are in the Forgotten Capital and we have a moment to try to save Aerith. And as you see, the fates are trying to stop us, whether it even be the planet's fates or Sephiroth's fates. And I think this is because the planet knows and everyone knows that Aerith has to die in order for the planet to be saved. Aerith knows this. She's accepted her fate. And for a moment there, we almost succeed, or maybe we even do succeed in saving her. And as you can see the blades hit, it almost makes a rift, or maybe it does make a rift between the other worlds that we were just previously in, and it kind of makes a meshing point. This is now a realm in between worlds, and ultimately I do think Aerith meets her fate here, whether it be in one of our worlds or in the main world. Ultimately she rejoins the life stream as she has to in order to save the planet. But this rift, or this mesh point, kind of plays an important part in this boss battle. As we shift through all this, we're fighting Sephiroth at two different worlds. The world that we created with Zack at the top here in the white, and then the world that we originally joined in. And there's moments that show this is true is because Zack is fighting at the church where Aerith just pushed us through, and also he's fighting alongside Cloud as a Rift of Dimensions, while the other team, like Tifa, Barrett, and Yuffie and them, are fighting godlike Sephiroth in the Forgotten Capital. And at the end of it all, after we succeed in fighting Sephiroth, Zack is sort of pushed into our world. Aerith saves him, and then Aerith kind of just fades off into the life stream, and Sephiroth leaves for another day. Now I want to say, I think Zack being in our world is sort of a representation of Cloud's ego more than anything. It's a way for the writers to tell a story to make Cloud's persona and his psyche a little bit easier to understand, as he has Zack's memory. What better way of showing Zack's memories than with Zack himself? So once Cloud figures out his psyche problems, probably early on in the third game, I do think Zack will then fade from the game or our planet because his purpose will have been served. Now, after the boss fight with Sephiroth, this is the part that also is sort of confusing and I don't fully understand, but I think it's because Cloud went to the other world that was made by Defying Fate in the end of Remake with Aerith, and that is why he can see the lights in the sky, and he is also the only one who can talk to Aerith in the live stream because he was a part of it in the other world, and it gives him the ability to see the rift between dimensions where no one else in the party has been able or has experienced that. So I think that's just a representation of Cloud being in another world and understanding that there are multiple worlds and physically being in other worlds where no one else in the party has. So in the third game, if Zack is around, I fully expect him to be able to see multiple worlds as he has been pushed into ours but came from a previous world. Now I know this might not really answer a lot of questions, but I hope it helps you understand what is going on a little bit better. If I had to sum it all up, I would just say, know that Aerith is part of the life stream, and she knew she had to be part of the life stream all along. Sephiroth has the knowledge that there are multiple planets and has control of the Whispers and will do everything in his power to destroy all of these planets and bring them together with Jenova in the reunion theory. And I'd say Zack is alive in our world, and next adventure is going to be going to the northern crater where we're going to find the real Sephiroth locked away in that northern chasm. So that's the best way I know how to explain this ending. I hope it helps, but as always, I hope you have a great day.